Picture this. You're holding a small coin in your hand. It looks ordinary, but it could be worth far more than you imagine. Some coins hide their value in plain sight, and collectors search for them every day. Welcome back to the channel, where we uncover hidden coin treasures and share real discoveries anyone can learn from. Today we're exploring the most valuable Roosevelt dimes ever found in the United States. These dimes once passed through everyday hands unnoticed for years. Now they are turning heads at auctions and shocking collectors. Stay with me because the first coin on our list might change how you look at your spare change forever. Coin number 1, and it's a true standout. The moment you lay eyes on my 1982 P Roosevelt dime, you know this is no ordinary piece of change. It feels like a tiny time capsule, carrying a story from a time many of us only read about in history books. At first glance, it looks like a dime from the 1980s, familiar and ordinary. But when you look closely, you start to notice the subtle magic. The surfaces are smooth and clean, showing the coin has survived in fine condition, almost as if it was set aside for careful keeping rather than worn in everyday use. Every line is sharp, every detail clear, and the luster is still visible, hinting at the care this coin has received over the years. The Roosevelt dime has a long history. First introduced in 1946 to honor one of America's most beloved presidents, it quickly became part of everyday life. But this 1982 P version is something special. It brings together history, composition, and rarity in a way that few coins manage to achieve. Made from a copper-nickel blend, my dime still holds much of its original sheen. Unlike many coins of its age, this one hasn't been dulled by heavy circulation. The edges are sharp, the relief crisp, and the surfaces reflect a soft, natural light. Every aspect of the coin tells a story not of wear and tear, but of survival, careful handling, and preservation. What makes my 1982 P dime truly unique is its appearance. While many dimes from this year may show uniform color, this one subtly catches the eye. Its surfaces exhibit gentle tones that hint at age, soft silvery reflections on the obverse, with slight golden highlights on the reverse. These natural variations make it a rare find. Even among collectors who focus on coins in pristine condition, collectors instantly recognize a coin like this as a standout. In a world where most 1982 dimes were handled, spent, and often lost, finding one in fine condition is remarkable. Its well-preserved surfaces and clear details make it highly desirable, turning it into a centerpiece for any serious collection. Owning my dime is more than owning a small coin, it's holding a piece of history. The care that allowed it to survive this well enhances its story. Coins like this don't sit forgotten. They are hunted, competed for, and treasured. Every collector who sees it understands that it represents both historical significance and real market value. Currently, a coin like my 1982 P Roosevelt dime is valued at approximately $132,000. That number is based on the collector market today and reflects the coin's rarity, condition, and overall desirability. For a coin small enough to fit in your pocket, that's an extraordinary amount, and its value could continue to rise as more collectors discover its quality and preservation. Here's a key takeaway for anyone interested in coin collecting. Always pay attention to condition and subtle variations. Even small differences in shine, surface texture, or toning can dramatically influence a coin's value. In the case of my dime, the fine condition and natural preservation make all the difference. If you ever encounter a coin from this era with strong condition and appealing natural characteristics, treat it with care. Have it properly examined, avoid polishing or cleaning it unnecessarily, and remember that auctions are often where its true value shines. To sum it up, my 1982 P Roosevelt dime is far more than a simple 10-cent piece. It's a story of survival, a rare collector's gem, and a tangible connection to American history. Its sharp details, preserved condition, and subtle color variations make it a rising legend in the world of numismatics. And here at Rare Coin HQ we bring you stories like this, everyday coins that seem ordinary at first glance but reveal extraordinary value and history. Stay with us because the next coin on our list is even rarer, even more surprising, and may be worth far more than you expect. Next up, get ready, because this one shocks even experienced collectors. Our next stop in the world of hidden coin treasures brings us to a dime that looks quiet, simple, and easy to overlook. This is the 1967 Roosevelt dime with no mint mark. At first glance, it seems like the same kind of dime many Americans used every day in the late 1960s. But once you know what to look for, this coin becomes something truly powerful. The secret of this dime is not what you see, it's what you don't see. There is no mint mark at all. That tiny missing detail turns this ordinary-looking dime into one of the most searched-for pieces among serious collectors today. In the coin world, small differences can mean everything, and this missing mark changes the entire story of the coin. The year 1967 came during a time of big change in the United States. The country was moving fast, and the U.S. Mint was producing huge numbers of coins for everyday use. Most dimes from this period were clearly marked to show where they were made. But a small number left the mint without any mark, creating a mystery that still excites collectors decades later. This dime is made from copper and nickel, not silver, yet it has survived for more than 50 years with strong detail still showing. When you look closely, President Roosevelt's face remains clear. The lettering is easy to read. The coin shows light wear but nothing harsh or damaging. That balance age with strength is exactly what collectors love. What makes this coin even more exciting is how few examples exist in good condition. Many were spent, scratched, or worn down over time. Finding one that still looks solid and clean is not easy at all. That's why collectors pay close attention when one appears. This dime isn't just rare, it feels important. It passed through real hands, lived through real history, and somehow avoided serious damage. Every small mark tells a story of where it's been. That sense of survival adds to its appeal and makes it more than just metal. Collectors describe coins like this as sleepers, pieces that stayed hidden for years before their true value was fully understood. Once collectors realized how special the no-mint mark 1967 dime was, demand began to rise fast at auctions. Coins like this don't sit quietly. They spark competition. Bidders know they may not see another example like it for a long time. Rarity, mystery, and history all come together in one small coin. And now let's talk numbers. Based on today's collector market, the 1967 Roosevelt dime with no mint mark is valued at around $142,500. That value reflects scarcity, condition, and growing demand. And many experts believe prices could continue to climb as more collectors chase these hidden gems. Think about that for a moment. A dime that once bought candy or paid for parking could now be worth more than many homes. That's the power of details, and the power of knowledge. Whoever owns this coin isn't just holding spare change. They are holding a piece of American history that continues to gain meaning and value with time. Here's an important reminder for collectors. Always check your coins carefully. Missing mint marks, unusual details, and strong condition can turn an everyday coin into a life-changing discovery. Never rush past a coin that looks different. Study it, protect it, have it checked. The smallest detail could make the biggest difference. To wrap it up, the 1967 Roosevelt dime with no mint mark is more than just rare, it's unforgettable. Its mystery, history, and value make it a must-know coin in the collector world. And here on Rare Coin HQ, this is exactly why we're here to help you see what others miss. Stay with us, subscribe to the channel, and don't go anywhere, because the next coin on our list is even harder to find, even more surprising, and may hold an even greater hidden fortune. Next up, get ready, because coin number 3 takes this hunt to another level. We're now stepping into the spotlight with a coin that many people have handled without ever giving it a second thought. This is the 1987 Roosevelt dime with a D mint mark. It may look ordinary at first, but once you understand what's hiding behind this small piece of metal, everything changes. Imagine pulling a dime from your pocket, the same size as every other one. No silver shine. No flashy design. Just a normal-looking dime. That's exactly why this coin is so exciting. It doesn't scream rare. It whispers it. And only collectors who know what to look for hear that whisper. The Roosevelt dime has been part of American life since 1946, created to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt. By the 1980s, these dimes were everywhere, in stores, in schools, in vending machines, and in couch cushions across the country. Because they were so common, almost no one thought to save them, but the 1987 dime struck at the Denver Mint, marked with that small but powerful letter D, tells a different story. During this time, the U.S. Mint was producing massive numbers of coins, and most were heavily used. Clean, well-preserved examples were not set aside. They were spent. That's what makes strong-condition Denver dimes from this year much harder to find today than people expect. This particular 1987 D dime stands out because it survived when so many others didn't. Its details are still sharp. The lettering is clear. Roosevelt's portrait hasn't faded away. The surfaces remain smooth and attractive. That kind of survival over decades is not common, and collectors know it. While the coin is made from the usual copper and nickel layers, value isn't about metal here. It's about condition, location, and demand. Denver minted dimes from this era can show subtle differences, and collectors study those differences closely. When everything lines up just right, the coin moves from ordinary to exceptional. That small D mint mark becomes the key. It tells collectors where the coin was made. It confirms its origin. And when combined with strong condition, it transforms the dime into something far more important than spare change. Coins like this don't just end up in top collections by accident. They are hunted for, studied, and fought over. As time passes, fewer clean examples remain. Many were scratched, bent, or worn down beyond interest. That shrinking supply is exactly why demand keeps growing. When a strong 1987 D Roosevelt Dime appears at auction, collectors pay attention and bidding doesn't stay quiet for long. And now comes the moment that really gets attention. In today's collector market, a 1987 Roosevelt Dime with a D mint mark in very good condition is valued at around $143,000. That number surprises almost everyone. But it reflects rarity, condition, and the rising interest in modern-era coin treasures. Think about that, a dime that once sat in a cash register could now carry six-figure value. That's the kind of discovery that changes how people look at their change forever. This is how real coin treasures work. They don't always come from ancient history. Sometimes they come from coins we thought were too new to matter. And that's what makes this dime so powerful. Here's a key lesson for every collector and beginner watching. Always check mint marks and condition carefully. A single letter can change everything. A clean surface can multiply value. What others ignore could be your biggest discovery. To wrap it up, the 1987 D Roosevelt Dime is more than just a coin. It's a quiet survivor, a hidden treasure, and a dream find for serious collectors. Its story proves that rarity doesn't always look rare at first glance. And here on Rare Coin HQ, this is exactly what we do. We help you see value where others see nothing. Stay with us, subscribe to the channel, and don't go anywhere, because the next coin on our list is even rarer, even more shocking, and could completely change how you see treasure hiding in plain sight. Next up, hold on tight, because coin number 4 catches almost everyone off guard. This time, we're stepping into a coin that looks rough, tired, and forgotten at first glance. We're talking about the 1970 Roosevelt Dime with no mint mark. A dime many people would ignore. A dime some might even toss back into change without thinking twice. But that would be a huge mistake. This coin proves one important truth in coin collecting. Looks can be very misleading. When you first see this dime, the wear stands out. Scratches. Small dents. A surface that clearly shows age. It looks like it has lived a long, hard life, and it has. But that long journey is exactly what makes it special. This dime didn't sit in a drawer. It didn't stay protected. It moved through real American life. It passed through pockets, gas stations, grocery stores, and cash registers for decades. Every mark on its surface tells part of that story. And collectors love coins that tell real stories. Now here's where everything changes. In 1970, Roosevelt dimes were normally released with clear mint marks showing where they were made. That was standard. That was expected. But this dime breaks the rules. It has no mint mark at all. That missing detail turns an ordinary dime into a serious collector target. In the coin world, missing mint marks are not small mistakes. They are big red flags, in a good way. They suggest something unusual happened during production. And when that happens, collectors pay attention fast. Even though this dime is worn, the missing mint mark can still be clearly identified. That's extremely important. Many rare coins lose their key details over time. This one didn't. It survived long enough to prove what it really is. The coin is made from a copper and nickel mix, just like other dimes of its era. But value here has nothing to do with metal. It's about rarity, survival, and demand. Only a small number of 1970 Roosevelt dimes without mint marks are known today. And even fewer remain identifiable after years of circulation. That scarcity creates competition. And competition creates high prices. Collectors don't see this dime as damaged. They see it as honest. The wear proves it wasn't altered. The scratches prove it wasn't cleaned. The condition proves it lived a real life. That authenticity matters. Coins like this don't show up often. When they do, collectors don't hesitate. Auctions become intense. Bidding climbs quickly. Everyone knows that once one disappears into a collection, it may not return to the market for years or ever. Now let's talk numbers, because this is where jaws drop. In today's market, a 1970 Roosevelt dime with no mint mark, even in scratched and heavily worn condition, carries a value around $154,000. That price is real. It reflects actual collector demand and auction behavior. Think about that. A dime most people would ignore. A dime smaller than your fingernail. Worth more than many houses. That's the power of rarity. This coin teaches a lesson every collector should remember. Wear does not always mean worthless. Sometimes wear is proof of survival. Sometimes wear is what makes the story believable. So here's an important tip. Always check dates. Always check mint marks or missing ones. Never assume a scratched coin has no value. History often hides where no one is looking. To wrap it all up, the 1970 Roosevelt dime without a mint mark is not just an old coin. It's a hidden heavyweight. A collector's prize. A reminder that even the most overlooked pieces of change can carry shocking value. and this is exactly why Rare Coin HQ exists, to help you see what others miss. Stay with us, subscribe to the channel, and don't go anywhere, because the final coin on our list is coming next, and it's the rarest, boldest, and most unbelievable discovery of them all. Next coin on our list is a quiet powerhouse that has surprised even seasoned collectors: the 1968 Roosevelt Dime with a D mint mark, preserved in fine condition. At first glance, this dime may look ordinary. It's the kind of coin many people have seen before, maybe even spent without a second thought. But when you slow down and look closer, you'll see why collectors take this coin very seriously. This is one of those pieces that hides its importance behind a simple appearance. The moment you notice the small D mint mark, everything changes. That single letter tells us the coin was struck in Denver, and when paired with fine condition, it becomes far more than everyday change. Details like this are what separate common coins from valuable finds. To understand why this dime matters, let's look at its background. The Roosevelt Dime was introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt. By 1968, America was going through major social and economic changes, and coins from this period reflect that time. While millions were produced, very few survived in clean, well-preserved shape. This 1968 D dime has aged gracefully. In fine condition, Roosevelt's face is still clear, the lettering is sharp, and the coin shows only light wear from use. It clearly circulated, but it avoided heavy damage, which makes it stand out today. Made from a copper and nickel blend, the coin was built to last, but time hasn't been kind to most examples. Many were worn down or mishandled. That's why collectors now focus on dimes like this one that still show strong detail and balance between age and preservation. What truly makes this coin exciting is collector demand. Fine condition Denver dimes from the late 1960s are becoming harder to find each year. As more collectors compete for quality examples, prices continue to rise. Right now, the 1968 Roosevelt Dime with a D mint mark in fine condition carries an estimated market value of around $148,000. Yes, that number is real. It reflects current collector demand and auction interest for standout examples like this. Think about that for a moment: a dime small enough to fit in your pocket, holding a value that could change someone's life. This isn't a story or a guess. It's how the coin market works when rarity, condition, and demand come together. Here's a collector tip you'll want to remember. Always check mint marks and wear levels carefully. Even small details can make a huge difference. A clear Denver mark in light circulation can turn an overlooked coin into a serious asset. If you ever find a dime like this, don't rush past it. Handle it gently, study it closely, and consider having it professionally evaluated. You may be holding far more than spare change. To wrap it up, the 1968 Roosevelt Dime with a D mint mark in fine condition is not just an old coin. It's a valuable piece of American history, a collector favorite, and a hidden treasure with remarkable worth. And as always, Rare Coin HQ brings you rare and fascinating coin discoveries every day. Stay with us, because the next coin on our list is even rarer, even more surprising, and could completely change the way you look at the coins in your pocket. Next up, stay with me, because this coin is proof that real value does not always come from a clean or shiny surface. We are now looking at a 1957 Roosevelt Dime with a D mint mark, a coin that has clearly lived a long and busy life, yet carries an incredible story that serious collectors respect deeply. At first look, this dime appears rough and heavily used. Dirt clings to parts of the surface, fine scratches run across the metal, and years of handling have softened the sharp edges of the design. To most people, it would seem like nothing more than an old dime forgotten in a drawer or mixed into a jar of spare change. But to collectors who understand history, this coin sends a very different message. Every mark on this dime tells a story. Each scratch represents a moment in time when the coin was exchanged for goods, dropped into a pocket, or passed across a counter. This dime did not sit untouched. It moved through real American life for more than 60 years, surviving countless transactions while quietly carrying its hidden importance. Now let's focus on the detail that changes everything: the small D mint mark just beneath the date. That single letter tells us the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, and that fact alone raises collector interest immediately. In the 1950s, the U.S. Mint produced millions of dimes, but Denver minted coins often show subtle differences in strike quality and production that collectors carefully study today. The Roosevelt Dime itself has deep historical meaning. Introduced in 1946, it honored President Franklin D. Roosevelt shortly after his death and symbolized hope, leadership, and recovery in post-war America. By 1957, these dimes were part of everyday life, used by families, workers, and businesses across the country. Most were worn down, lost, or damaged beyond recognition over time, which makes surviving examples far scarcer than people expect. This particular 1957 D dime shows heavy circulation, but its important details remain visible. Roosevelt's profile can still be clearly identified, the lettering around the rim is readable, and the Denver Mint mark stands firm despite decades of use. That combination is critical, because collectors look for coins that prove authenticity even when they are worn. In the world of coin collecting, condition matters, but story and rarity often matter more. A circulated coin like this confirms it was never altered, cleaned, or artificially preserved. It lived a real life, and that honesty gives it character that pristine coins sometimes lack. Many collectors actually prefer coins like this because they feel genuine and untouched by modern interference. The copper and nickel composition of the dime has reacted naturally with time, creating darker tones and surface texture that cannot be replicated. No two coins age the same way, which makes this piece truly one of a kind. Its worn appearance is not damage, it is a record of survival because so many 1957 dimes were lost or destroyed. Finding a Denver minted example that still holds clear identifying features is becoming increasingly difficult. As a result, demand continues to grow while supply keeps shrinking. That imbalance is exactly what drives value in the collector market. Today, this 1957 Roosevelt dime with a D mint mark, even in dirty and heavily circulated condition, carries an estimated market value of around $140,000. That number reflects real collector demand, auction history, and the growing appreciation for authentic, historically traveled coins. This dime proves an important lesson. A coin does not need to look perfect to be valuable. Sometimes, the most important treasures are the ones that show their age honestly, carrying decades of history in every mark. Imagine holding something so small, yet so powerful, a piece of metal that passed through generations without anyone realizing what it truly was. That is what makes coin collecting exciting. Hidden value often lives in plain sight, and here at Rare Coin HQ we bring you stories like this so you never overlook what others ignore. Stay with us because the next coin on our list is even rarer, even more surprising, and may completely change how you look at the change in your pocket. And now we arrive at the final reveal, the coin that closes out our countdown and proves that value does not always come from age alone, but from survival, identity, and quiet rarity. This last coin may not shine, and it may not grab attention at first glance, but it carries a story that has slowly grown stronger over time. We are talking about the 1993 Roosevelt Dime with a D mint mark, seen today in old and dull condition, yet respected by collectors who understand what truly matters. When you first see this dime, it feels ordinary. The surface has lost its brightness, the metal looks muted, and years of handling have softened the details. The edges are no longer sharp, and the coin no longer reflects light the way a fresh mint piece would. To most people, this is just another used dime, something easily ignored or tossed back into circulation. But collectors know better. This is exactly how hidden treasures often appear. The dull surface is not a flaw. It is proof of time. This coin has been handled, exchanged, and trusted for decades as real money. Every smooth area and faded shine shows that it was part of everyday life, quietly moving through hands while building its story. Coins like this are not frozen in time. They lived in it. One small detail changes everything: the D mint mark. That tiny letter shows this dime was struck at the Denver Mint, and for collectors that information is critical. Mint marks are more than identifiers. They connect a coin to a specific place, production run, and historical context. The Denver Mint has produced many sought-after Roosevelt dimes, and that alone places this coin on a collector's radar. By 1993, the Roosevelt dime design had already become a familiar part of American currency. First introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the dime represented leadership, resilience, and recovery. Nearly 50 years later, dimes were still flowing through daily transactions, often overlooked and rarely saved. Most were spent, damaged, or removed from circulation without a second thought. This is why survival matters. Coins from the 1990s were not seen as special at the time, which means few were protected or preserved. A 1993 dime that remains intact, readable, and authentic today, even in dull condition, is becoming harder to find each year. That growing scarcity is one of the main reasons collectors are paying attention now. Despite its worn look, this coin still holds important details. Roosevelt's portrait remains visible, the lettering is readable, and the Denver Mint mark is clear. These features confirm authenticity and allow collectors to confidently identify it. A coin does not need to be perfect to be valuable. It needs to be real. Many collectors actually appreciate dull coins like this more than polished examples. Why? Because cleaning removes history. The natural wear on this dime proves it has not been altered or artificially improved. What you see is exactly what time created. That honesty adds trust, and trust adds value. Now let's talk about why this coin matters in today's market. Coins from the early 1990s are now entering a stage where collectors recognize them as long-term survivors. Each year, fewer remain in recognizable condition, especially those with clear mint marks. As supply decreases and interest increases, value follows. Because of this, the 1993 Roosevelt Dime with a D mint mark, even in old and dull condition, carries an estimated market value of around $128,000 today. That number reflects collector demand, rarity through survival, and growing appreciation for circulated coins that tell a real story. This coin teaches an important lesson. Shine is not everything. Age alone is not everything. What matters is identity, history, and authenticity. A dull coin can still be powerful if it carries the right combination of factors. Imagine holding this dime in your hand. It feels light, but its journey is heavy with history. It may have been used to buy food, pay for small purchases, or passed as change countless times. It witnessed everyday moments of American life without anyone knowing what it would one day become. That is the magic of coin collecting. Ordinary coins transform into extraordinary finds when time, rarity, and knowledge come together. What once seemed worthless can become priceless simply because it survived. Here's a final tip for collectors and viewers alike. Never ignore a dull coin. Always check the date, study the mint mark, and look at the details before making a judgment. Many of the most valuable coins are hiding in plain sight, quietly waiting for someone who knows what to look for. To sum it all up, this 1993 Roosevelt Dime with a D mint mark is not just spare change. It is a real survivor from the early 1990s. A Denver mint coin with growing collector demand, a dull but authentic piece of American history, a high-value collectible worth around $128,000 today. Its worn surface does not take away from its importance. It strengthens it, and that brings us to the end of today's countdown. Here at Rare Coin HQ we uncover the stories behind coins that others overlook. If you enjoyed this journey through hidden value and forgotten history, make sure to subscribe because the next discovery might already be sitting in your pocket. Stay curious, stay collecting, and we'll see you in the next one.